Welcome to Pathways of Hope. My name is Alvin Fabella, and I am blessed to share with you the gospel for today, which is taken from John 15:26 up to John 16, verse 4. This is a cell phone. This device is very important for me. I need it for my work, my ministry, and more importantly, I use this to connect to my family and my friends. But last year, my phone broke down. When I brought it to the service center, they told me that it will take at least 2 weeks, 2 weeks to fix it. The good thing is they lent me a service unit. But the not so good thing is the service unit was not as good as my phone. It had limited space. I couldn't load all the apps. The camera was not as good. Friends, substitutes are usually like that. They're not as good as the original. And this is what the gospel shares to us today, that the Holy Spirit is not just a substitute or a replacement. In verse 26, Jesus calls the Holy Spirit the advocate. In some translations, it's called the paraclete. An advocate is like a lawyer, someone who stands with you, who stands by with you, who supports you, who counsels you, who gives you advice, who travels with you along the way. The Holy Spirit is not a substitute who will be with you temporarily only. The Holy Spirit will be with you in your faith journey until you reach the end goal, which is to live with Jesus Christ in His heavenly kingdom. The second point is this. Jesus says that He will send the Holy Spirit through God the Father. Jesus reveals to us the Holy Trinity. Jesus is telling us that the Holy Spirit is God. The Holy Spirit is not one-third God. The Holy Spirit is not 99.99% God. The Holy Spirit is 100% God. The Holy Spirit is not a substitute which has the same characteristics only as Jesus Christ. The Holy Spirit is God Himself. And the third point is this. Jesus calls the Holy Spirit the Spirit of Truth. You know, when Jesus was preaching to the crowd, to the apostles were confused. They didn't fully understand what Jesus was teaching. Imagine this. Maybe Peter and the apostles, they were telling themselves, how can we teach this to others if we ourselves we cannot understand it? But that changed because in Pentecost, the Holy Spirit descended upon them and they fully understood what Jesus taught them. They began to live their life according to the gospel, and they began to proclaim the gospel to a lot of people. The Holy Spirit gave them the wisdom to understand it. The Holy Spirit gives us also spiritual gifts. The Holy Spirit shares to us the truth, the full truth that Jesus wants to impart to all of us. And what is the point of all of this? Why is Jesus sending the Holy Spirit to all of us? Go to chapter 16, verse 1, where Jesus says, I am telling you this so that you may not fall away. Jesus was telling the apostles, you will face persecution, you will face difficulty, you will face trials, you will face suffering. It may even cost your life. But throughout all of this, the Holy Spirit will be with you. And what is my one big message to all of you? Be empowered by the Holy Spirit, because you too will face trials, difficulties, obstacles, problems, but the Holy Spirit will be with you and it will allow you to overcome all of this. And that is the good news that I want to share with you today. That is the power of the Holy Spirit. May we appreciate what Jesus Christ is giving us through the Holy Spirit, and may the Holy Spirit be our constant companion in our faith journey. God bless your week.